Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. Sunday fun day, right?
That's what they say.
All right. We need to go up a little bit.
Up a little bit? Okay. How's that? Oh, I guess with the delay, we'll find out in a second.
Yeah. There.
Is that better?
Maybe up a little bit more.
Hey, Aunt Marty.
I'm going to share.
Is that okay?
Is
We are making crab cakes. Ryan McCarthy.
It says write post or more options. Should I just write post? I've never seen that. I thought it usually just says share now.
I'll do it.
Did I hear that Ryan McCarthy's on?
You
And
did.
And Aunt Marty's on?
Yes.
Fantastic. Hi. Let's-
All right, I posted to yours.
Okay. Fantastic.
I don't know if anybody's saying anything. You're welcome.
All right, we're gonna get this bottle wide open while everybody's logging in. Get us started. We're gonna have a little Sauvignon Blanc today with our Maryland crab cakes.
Yes. All right. Perfect. Hey, Jessica. Are you ready?
Jessica?
Nancy's on. Hey, Nancy.
Nancy, hi.
Safe travels.
Did you get moved, Nancy?
No, the move started, I believe, today. Because her and Kara celebrated the last night in the house last night with a glass of wine.
Oh, okay. And then they're moving to like
She's moving.
a whole other state. Where?
Yes, I think, Nancy, I think you're moving to Arizona, right?
Arizona? Yeah?
Oh, sweet. Jess has got a nice crowd tonight.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers. Ding. Oh,
Hey,
that's
Kat. It's very nice.
nice.
Kathy's on.
Oh, hi, Kathy. All right, so we're making some crab cakes today. So we'll just kind of walk through the mise en place. And whenever cooking, I don't think we've talked about this that much. And I know that a lot of you, you know, when we started posting the ingredients of what was needed, wanted to know like how it was chopped and stuff like that, so that you guys could be prepared ahead of time and have things kind of already chopped, even though the idea was to kind of do it in real time with me. But I know I cut faster than some people. So some people wanted to pre-cut beforehand, which is great. That's called mise en place. Whenever you, it's directly translate as things in place. So all of our ingredients and our measurements are already have been laid out, and that's what. So we have our mise en place out today, and so we'll just kind of run down what we're needing. We're needing a couple of stalks of celery. I have 3 pieces of celery here, only because they're short little stalks and not a nice big stalk. So I've got that. I've got some chives. I've got some parsley. We're going to have 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise. We'll chop up some chives into that. We have a teaspoon of Worcestershire, a Dijon mustard, 2 teaspoons of lemon juice, 1 egg, some salt to taste. I said a pinch, but really it's your preference on salt content. So anywhere from a pinch and higher if you'd like. Obviously you don't want it to be too salty. So I would stick to right around a half a teaspoon or so. And then I have, so there's 2 variations on the Maryland crab cake. So there's anyone in the region or in the surrounding area of Baltimore, they're going to be using Old Bay. Old Bay is I think from Baltimore, right?
I believe you're right.
I think it's manufactured there. So obviously it's heavily used in a lot of dishes. because it's a local flavor, a local preference. I'm going to admit I am not a big fan of Old Bay. Nothing against it. It's just a flavor preference for me. So I'm going with a little bit more historically flavored before Old Bay existed. You used to be able to use a hot sauce, a chili sauce of some sort. We're using Tabasco today, and a little cayenne pepper. So when in the list of ingredients, if you want to go with the, I know I had a few people give me some feedback on the fact that I didn't have Old Bay in my
Yes.
recipe. Same
Well,
recipe.
Jen Neubauer is a Baltimore native.
She's a
so
Baltimore girl, so
yes.
good for her for pointing out that and allowed me to talk about that a little bit. That is an ingredient that some people would prefer. So, in lieu of the hot sauce and the chili pepper, you could put just some Old Bay seasoning, and in that case, I would do probably about half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of Old Bay. All right. Old Bay, I just noticed, did come out with a liquid hot sauce, Old Bay hot sauce.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Right on.
I noticed that in the store today when I was picking up my crab meat. So we have 1 pound of blue lump crab. When you go to the store to get your crab meat, you will notice various prices. It's anywhere from, can be as low as $12 to $14 a pound, all the way up to $30, $40 a pound. I went with the lower end one today, just because I'm not extravagantly full of money. What the difference is not necessarily that it's not blue crab or that it's whatever. You'll notice that there was a few large chunks in here, but a lot of it's been smaller chopped up bits of crab, so it's not as lumpy or not as whole.
It's not
chunks.
that jumbo lump crab. Yeah.
So that's what you get when you get a better quality, and it's where in that crab it comes from when you buy a more expensive crab. But so some crab, and then we have about 3/4 of a cup to a cup of some fresh made breadcrumbs.
Or if you're like Carolyn cooking, Dave Boodle cannot have crab, so he's doing imitation crab.
Imitation crab, and you can get, and there's lots of imitation crab out there. So
Hey,
that's our mise en place for today for that, and then we're going to make a crema, which we've made before. I think on our first episode, second.
No, we did the crema for
tacos.
the tacos, the fish tacos. Yeah.
And then the vinaigrette we've done in several episodes. So a classic vinaigrette, because we're going to serve these crab cakes with a little bit of mixed green salad and top it with a little crema.
Trying to lose this.
Salads
with everything.
I've been gaining weight since this all started back in March when we were quarantined to the house and had nothing, and then I have cravings for like cookies and stuff, which I probably shouldn't do.
Yeah.
Should we get started?
Let's do it. Everybody ready? Let's go.
Everybody is ready. All right. So for this, and a couple of tablespoons of butter is what we're going to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn on a small little saute pan. Get that started heating up, and we're going to dump in a couple of tablespoons of butter. Melt that in there, and we're going to chop up some celery, and we're going to pre-cook our celery. We don't want it really super soft. We still want a little texture to our celery, but if you were to put it in firm and crunchy like this, you would. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just you would taste the celery more than you would the crab cake, and you really want that texture of the crab cake. And you don't want the texture of your celery to fight the soft, delicate pieces of crab, right? So we're going to kind of turn them into equally as soft. So what I'm doing is, because I want small little dices, is I'm taking my celery stalk and I'm cutting it down lengthwise, about 4 to 5 slices through, so that I have long, little, tiny strips, and then I can dice it from there. So that's the best way to dice up. Get a nice small dice on your celery. again, make sure you've got your knuckles curled and you're just letting the blade do the work. Keep your fingers curled in. You're not chopping your fingers off. We're going to run a knife through it just a little bit extra just to make sure it's nice and small diced. There it is. And now we're going to transfer it into our pan and kind of saute that a little bit. Just to soften it up. And then the butter is also going to act as a little bit of a binding agent, so that's why we have some butter.
For when you make the cakes themselves.
So when we make the cakes, yep. So we're going to just leave we're going to have all the butter and everything. Anyway, so we're going to let that kind of saute a little bit.
Hey, Junior.
Junior. So in a mixing bowl, we are putting in our 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise. And
hey, Cameron.
We have a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. We have a teaspoon of Worcestershire, 2 teaspoons of lemon juice, 1 egg, our little bit of a pinch of cayenne pepper, and 3 or so dashes of Tabasco. Depending on how spicy and hot you would like it, that's up to you. And our pinch of salt. And we're going to give that a little bit of, mix that all up real nicely. We're also going to add in some fresh cut parsley. And you want like a teaspoon or more of chopped up. If you're using dried parsley, that's fine. Just know that dried parsley shrinks. So you want to probably cut in half how much you're using, because as it rehydrates with the liquid that's in there, it'll give it more flavor than you think. So. All right.
Oh, and you can show what you were talking about, because you have your little ramekin as parsley starts before it goes bad.
So, yep.
Or
Yeah, if I cut too much, I just put it in and I have some dried on the side for another use for making an omelet in the morning or something like that.
Jess asked, can you say one more time what's all in the bowl?
So what's all in the bowl? I've got, I've got 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise. I've got, I'm going to be cutting up a chive. And then I have chopped parsley, a teaspoon of Worcestershire, a teaspoon of Dijon, 2 teaspoons of lemon juice, and what else? An egg, cayenne pepper, Tabasco, and a pinch of salt. That's what I have in there so far. We're going to throw in some chives, and then as soon as I get that cut up, my chives are in there.
Oh, you're very welcome. She said perf.
Alright, we're going to take that off the heat. We're going to give this just a little bit of a mix. Get the egg incorporated into our now we're going to add in our celery and the butter.
Yes, the parsley is in there, Jess. It's about, what'd you say, a teaspoon?
About a teaspoon, between a teaspoon and a tablespoon. Just a nice, healthy chop. All right, and then we're going to add in our crab meat. And our breadcrumbs.
do have to brag, because when we did the test run the other day, these crab cakes turned out so good.
And we're going to go ahead and wash our hands, and we're going to get our hands dirty and get them in there. Get a good mix on that. All right.
Did we put, yes, the crab's in there, yes.
So crab is in there, breadcrumbs are in there, all your ingredients should be in there now.
Sherry Amos says, Brian is the best.
Oh, Sherry, so nice of you to say that.
Yes, the crab is in, Jess.
So
And breadcrumbs.
all the ingredients should be in the bowl now. And we're gonna just give it a good mix. And you don't wanna like start, not like a meatloaf where you get in there and you squeeze it through your fingers and things like that. We're just trying to get everything well incorporated.
Yes, breadcrumbs are in, Jess. Hey, Lee.
And if you mix it too much, your crab break apart too much.
We didn't put breadcrumbs on the list?
We did not.
How did we miss that on the ingredients list? What can she do in lieu of breadcrumbs? I did not realize we left that off the list.
Oh, do we have any crackers?
Do you have some crackers, Jess? I'm so sorry. I completely missed that on the...
If you have some crackers, like saltine crackers are best. Then
Just put them like in a Ziploc bag and sort of pound
and
them
just pound it out. We have some nice gluten-free crackers and stuff like that. Something like that would be good. Ground up.
She has wheat thins.
Sure.
Do it.
Do it.
And then how much does she need? Like a third of a cup, or?
I would do like with wheat thins and stuff. I would do maybe a quarter of a cup.
Okay, quarter of a cup.
Yeah. Now this recipe can be done without
breadcrumb
at all.
Right.
It's just going to be really loose, and the breadcrumb just kind of helps hold it together. And we're just going to talk about it. So we're gonna make the patties here in a second.
Sorry, Jess.
We're gonna make the patties in a second, but there are recipes that don't call for breadcrumb at all. You just have to be very delicate with them when you're placing them in the pan to cook them, and maybe an extra egg yolk to help that binding if you don't want breadcrumb in it, which is fine too.
Would it also behoove to, like, once you've made the cakes, maybe put them in the fridge for a little bit to let them sort of...
Yep, let them kind of set. Yep, and we're going to do, that's why we're kind of doing this right now, is we're going to make these, we're going to set them aside and let the breadcrumb and everything kind of like set.
Hydrate and...
Yeah. For example, the District Commons restaurant, part of
well, Passion Food in general,
their crab cakes don't have any breadcrumb in
Not one breadcrumb, nope.
So you can do it without.
And they are so tasty.
Yes. All right, so I got a good 4 ounce. That claims it's a 4 ounce scoop, but we're making like 2 ounce. They'll end up being like about a 2 ounce crab cake when we're done here. It'll make about 8 crab cakes. If you were going to make a smaller crab cake, you can make mini crab cakes out of this with a smaller scoop or smaller pieces and chunks. I would add more breadcrumb. I did, because we tried making. We did make, yeah. But they're so delicate. They fall apart so easily that you really do need. You have to have it. When it's a larger crab cake, it's not as important. But with the smaller crab cake, I think you really need something more to bind that together. Yeah. Especially because the crab is so nice and chunky. You could grind up the crab more, and then you don't have to worry about it isn't falling apart as much. Yeah. But I like those, when you bite into it, you have nice big chunks of crab. That's, I think, important.
Yeah, we made little mini crab cakes for our very first hosting happy hour. We did a social distance happy hour outside.
Yeah.
It was very nice.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and scoop these onto, I have a little platter here that I'm going to scoop them onto. Pack them nice and tight.
For people who may or may not have a scoop, how big would you sort of roll a ball into, what do you think? Is that like...
About 2 to 3 inch ball, maybe.
Okay. Okay, slow down just a little bit because they're still crushing wheat thins.
That's fine.
We got you, girl. Thanks for cooking with us. It's been a while. And if you're doing this with a group of people, you know, they can sort of roll the balls while you continue making the crema and stuff like that. Because it's gonna, like Brian said, if I don't know if you heard, but it will sit for a little bit. So
yeah, we're gonna set this aside. All right. We got this. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect.
nailed it.
Nailed it.
Am I heating a pan? Not yet, because we're gonna make the crema. So I don't think we need to worry about heating a pan just yet, right?
We don't need to worry about heating the pan just yet, just because of the fact, like Mark just pointed out, we're gonna let this set so that all like our binding ingredients and stuff kind of cool down and congeal together. So we're going to kind of press these down a little bit.
Cool.
And then so while this is just kind of setting, we'll just kind of set them in the refrigerator for a little bit. So while that is setting,
Have a sip of wine.
we're going to have a sip of wine, and we're going to make our crema,
Aunt Marty.
and we're going to make our salad dressing. This will give those a chance to set.
Right.
The nice thing about this is you can, if you were having like a party or something.
Oh, your mom's
like
on.
that. Oh, hey, Mom. If you were having a party or something like that, this part can be done in the morning, you know, that afternoon, whenever you have time. Set them in the refrigerator and let them be. And then you can sear them last minute and have nice, fresh, hot crab cakes for your guests.
Or you could go ahead and just, like we did for the happy hour, go ahead and make them like a day before, so then they're ready to go, and then you just pop them in the oven to warm them up.
To warm them up. Yeah, I mean, you can do that with just about anything.
Right.
Obviously, you won't get that, if they won't have that same crispy, you'll lose that crispy texture a little bit.
You did them in the cast iron skillet. I thought they still had a little bit of a sear.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
So, yeah, you can. There's nothing better than a freshly seared crab cake. So, I would recommend, if you're not going to do them, if your party's going to be a little later,
Do not listen to anything Mark just said.
do not sear them until last minute. But that being said, if you were throwing like a large housewarming gathering and you have like lots of people and you want to be able to spend time at your party with your guests, not in the kitchen, right?
Right.
So yes, definitely, there's nothing wrong with searing them ahead of time and then just kind of putting them in a little warmer and so that you can serve them to your guests.
Chafer.
And that way you don't have to be standing in the kitchen while your guests are enjoying each other's company.
Yeah.
Anytime like you throw a large party and you have guests over and you want to spend as much time with your guests as possible, right? That's the point of having them over. And you find yourself just stuck in the kitchen the whole time. So there's lots of little tricks and techniques you can do to kind of shorten up your time in the kitchen and still be impressive to all of your guests. All right, so we're gonna do a little crema. We've done this one before when we did the fish tacos, so this is the same crema as before. If you followed us on that one, you'll recognize this a lot. But it's a half a cup of sour cream and 1/3 cup of mayonnaise. It's 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, 1 tablespoon of sriracha, and 1 tablespoon or between 1 to 2 tablespoons of lime juice. I think on the recipe I have like the juice of 1 lime, so which usually is about a tablespoon and a half. So we're gonna take our sour cream and our mayonnaise, put that together. We're gonna add in, sprinkle in our garlic powder, our lime juice, and our sriracha. Nice. And we're just that together and let that set aside. What will happen is it's nice and kind of, it'll be a little runny right now because of all the lime juice that you just put in there and the mayonnaise and stuff. But what will happen is it'll actually, the lime juice will start interacting with the sour cream and the mayonnaise, and it will kind of congeal and become firmer. So it'll be less liquidy and a little bit more jelly-like, if you will. Not really jelly-like. I don't know how to say it.
Like a crema?
Like a crema. If you don't know what a crema is, that didn't answer any questions whatsoever.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. All right. So we're going to set that aside in our refrigerator as well. Meanwhile, we're also going to then do a simple vinaigrette dressing. A basic vinaigrette dressing is vinegar and olive oil. You need a binding ingredient. In this case, it's going to be a mustard. A binding ingredient can be an egg yolk, mustard. I think what else could be a binding ingredient?
I haven't been very helpful so far, so I'm going to stay out of this one.
Anything that has some kind of like a little bit of, yeah.
You made us a nice little jar helping of some last week that we used with every meal, and you used the egg yolk as your binder.
Egg yolk.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so it's an emulsifier. So emulsifier is what helps bind those two together so that they don't keep separating in the dish. And we're going to have about a teaspoon of some minced shallot in ours. And that's pretty much...
We keep it pretty simple.
That's pretty much a basic vinaigrette dressing. You can enhance that a little bit if you want. You can do a balsamic vinegar to make a balsamic vinaigrette. You can do white wine vinegar, red wine vinegar. You can do half vinegar because it takes about, for about 4 decent salads, it takes about 2 tablespoons of vinegar to 4 to 5 tablespoons of olive oil. If you want, you could do 1 tablespoon and split the vinegar in half and do 1 tablespoon of like a white vinegar and 1 tablespoon of lemon juice and make a lemon vinaigrette. So you can really just start playing with it from there, but the basic ingredients the same.
Can you do the rundown really quick for the measurements for the dressing again?
The salad dressing?
Yes.
2 tablespoons of vinegar of some sort, or lime juice, lemon juice. I've done like a cilantro lime vinaigrette where you take a little white wine vinegar and lime juice and chop up a lot of cilantro and puree that into there, blend that in there. It's really good. But anyways, in this case, I'm just doing a basic red wine vinaigrette. So it's 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. We have 1 teaspoon or half teaspoon of Dijon mustard in there. And then we're mincing up some shallot.
Oh, sorry, Lois. Your mom, it's freezing up on her end because they're having bad storms in Minnesota.
Oh, that's not good.
No.
It's been hot and humid here.
Yes. And we've had sun showers like we live in Florida again. Like
I know.
Isn't that the crazy?
Perfectly sunny. Doesn't seem like there's a cloud in the sky, and yet there's rain coming out. That's always,
Florida.
That's always fun. All right, so we got our nice whisk.
Are you good, Jess?
So vinegar, mustard, shallot. That's all there's in here right now. If you want, you can put like a little pinch of salt. And while you're mixing that, you're going to slowly add olive oil. Okay, about twice as much to a little bit more than twice as much olive oil to vinegar is always the recipe.
Caitlin.
There we go. We have a nice vinaigrette dressing now. Beautiful. So we're going to set that aside because we'll dress some greens a little bit later. And we'll dish up our food. Meanwhile, we're going to get a little saute pan, and we're going to start warming that up. About medium to medium low, depending on how hot your stove heats. I think sometimes the key to cooking is practice, 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 but also just really getting to know your equipment, getting to know how your pans react to the heat, how your oven heats, baking. You know, I've made mistakes because reading a recipe and it says 25-30 minutes, and all of a sudden I realize everything I bake always takes longer because my oven seems to bake differently than or maybe it's the pan I'm using because I'll use
that's true, yeah.
with the when we made the Vinaigrette, we make it in a ceramic heavy duty pan,
or
loaf pan, right?
Loaf pan, yeah.
And so it's not a thin metal pan, it's thick ceramic pan, so it's going to increase the amount of time that it takes, and you should also lower the temperature down. But anyways, so getting to know your pans, getting to know your equipment, and that takes practice. So if you make a mistake and something sears too high of heat, you realize, oh, I should have turned that down. That's okay. Don't beat yourself up. It's fine. You just know next time. Now I know. Note to self. Keep the pan on lower heat. The big mistake a lot of people make when cooking is they tend to turn their stoves up too high to begin with. You're better off a little too low than you are a little too high. So I always caution on the lower side. So medium to medium low on your heat. A nice saute pan. We're going to take out our cab cakes out of the refrigerator now. Look at that, beautiful. See, and I got this one's kind of falling a little bit. There we go. That's okay. Beautiful. I have, I think we said about 4 tablespoons of either canola or vegetable oil. I have an avocado oil. Olive oil gets too hot and smoky because it has a lower heating ratio to other oils. So avocado oil is another one if you want a healthier oil and you don't want to use canola or you have allergies to soy or anything like that. You want to do something, you don't want to do corn oil.
Grapeseed oil, would that be good?
Grapeseed oil is fine, is a good one.
It's what we pop our popcorn with.
Yeah, but recently I've discovered avocado oil, and it's now become a lot more readily available in grocery stores. And so you'll see it, and it's actually fairly affordable oil for a healthy oil. So
I can't check my phone because we're using it for the taping.
Oh, it's gone.
Oh,
Okay.
you're good.
Okay, so we're just gonna put about a tablespoon and a half, because we're gonna keep adding a little bit as we fry our second batch. So that's why I said about 4 tablespoons of oil. You just want a good, very thin coat of oil across the bottom of your pan. So depending on how size your pan is. And we're gonna kind of like tilt that and make sure that's nicely coated on our pan. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and we're going to put our crab cake in there. Nice.
Do you need a separate plate for when they're done?
No, I'll be fine.
Okay.
So I'll put them on that one.
Hey, Brenda.
So I have 8 here, so we're going to do this in 2 batches. And hey, Brenna.
Feaster.
And that one's going to want to fall apart, I think. I have a feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I already know. So they're going to take about 8 minutes, 4 minutes each side. So it's a 704 right now. So we got about 4 minutes, and then we'll flip those.
Oh, we should also go ahead and say that with next Sunday being 4th of July weekend, we are going to take a week off, and we'll come back the following Sunday, the 12th. The 12th? Is that what we...
I don't have a calendar in front of me. Whatever.
I thought you said that this morning. I remember you saying 12.
Because the 4th of July is Saturday plus 7.
No, the 4th is Friday.
Oh,
but it's the 4th weekend, so we're just gonna take the weekend off. We'll come back on the 13th.
13th.
No, the 12th.
Sunday.
Okay, so your calendar had me weirded out. Okay, so
because my calendar goes Monday through Sunday.
Yeah.
Sunday through Saturday.
Correct. Yeah, so the 4th is Saturday. We'll be coming back on Sunday the 12th.
Sunday the 12th.
That was it.
There it is.
There it is.
We got that down now? Yes. And we don't know what we're doing yet. So,
No.
So we're all like organized and everything today.
Well,
Yeah? No?
we don't really usually know what we're actually really gonna do till like,
The last minute.
yeah.
Kind of.
Well, you play around and you look
We
through
have.
your cookbooks and
You just put some thought into it. And people give me suggestions.
exactly.
So if you have suggestions, give them to me. That's great.
We can go back to, doing some world traveling.
I'm done world traveling. I'm exhausted from world.
They don't want us anyway, so.
Yeah. I don't want to disturb them. I know. That's what Just make sure that, kind of make sure that the oil is not all to one side of your pan. So just kind of give them a little whatever, so that the oil just kind of make sure that it's constantly sauteing. So this is the thing about pans. I don't use non-stick pans very often. I like them for an omelet and frying an egg. And a really good chef would tell me that you can fry an egg in a regular pan just as easily. It's a challenge, and so it's hard. So I break down and use nonstick pans. But for everything else, I use a classic pan that doesn't have a nonstick coating. Stainless steel surface with an aluminum or a various multi-clad core to it for more consistent heat ratio. But where people my food's stuck to the pan, it was hard to clean. Your food shouldn't stick to the pan if you're at the right temperature. So again, that's about making sure that it'll stick for a period of time. That's called searing. And then when it's done searing, it will release itself from the pan. The problem is if your pan's at too high of a temperature, the sear will take longer, and by the time it releases itself, it'll actually be burnt. So that's why we want to make sure that we keep it at a lower medium to medium low. Most pans are designed to cook at a medium temperature. Alright, so it looks like we're ready to flip.
Just said, let's make fancy hot dogs.
Let's make fancy hot dogs. Like pigs in a blanket. Oh, these are beautiful.
We could go all-American and do like a burger with like your stout reduction that you make that's really tasty.
Yeah, we could do that.
Jess also says we need to get you a mic.
We need to get me a mic. I can talk louder. I'm always afraid I'm talking too loud, but apparently not. Look at that, nice golden brown on that. They didn't fall apart on me.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
So now we give that till 7:12, right? Four
Yes.
more minutes.
All right. Meanwhile, we're going to.
Ooh, Brian got us some kielbasa's on his last Costco run that are super super tasty. It's just went to a Polish deli.
I do think that we should do some kind of. I'm gonna toss up our salad here real quick while these are cooking.
Yeah, because we can do a
should
plate.
do a grilling show.
Yes.
And I know not everybody has a grill, but that's okay.
I love potato latkes. Alice and Roman has a really fun recipe for. It's essentially like it's a big latke, but you do it in a cast iron skillet. It's really tasty. We could do a grilling show, I guess, if you sort of walk people through it. If somebody who doesn't have a grill, like them doing it on the stove, at the, I guess.
Yeah. Alright, so we got some mixed greens. We're going to put that on our plate. Look at that. Beautiful.
Yum.
Yummy.
Try and get thin.
I know, right?
Jess, are you guys good? I can't wait to hear how the wheat thins enhance the flavor of the crab cake. I'm super excited. I'm so sorry we left that off. Oh, your sister says grilling sounds good though. That could be fun. We should do a grill episode.
Yeah, I think so. We can talk about
Okay.
grilling steaks. Maybe.
Well, yeah, because the new way of
Well, we can
prepping
talk
at
about
the tenderloins that you found.
Yeah, a reverse sear.
Yeah.
It's a good method.
Okay. She said, no worries, they figured it out.
Okay. All right. So, look at that. Oh yeah, that's nice.
Hey, Marta.
Sure, those are the couple of little lemon wedges. We'll do our second batch a little bit later.
The crema, would you put it on the side or would you drizzle it over the...
I personally would drizzle just a little bit right on the crab cake.
Okay.
See, it kind of thickened up a little bit. Maybe a little extra dripping down the side so if somebody wants more.
Marta said, hello, I'll be right over.
Yeah.
Hey, Diana.
And there you go. Our crab cakes.
Your sister says, nummy.
Yum!
All right, so like we
Welcome to
said,
Maryland.
so like we said, we'll be taking next weekend off in celebration of the 4th
So
of
enjoy
July.
your 4th of July
Have a happy
with,
4th.
Weekend with your friends and family.
We'll start working on a grill technique, I guess, right?
We'll return the following week, yes, so the 12th, right?
And looking at maybe something to put on the grill, right?
Something to put on the grill.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
Alrighty.
All right, guys.
Thank you so much for joining us. This was so much fun.
We'll see you soon.
See you soon.
Bye.